Hello StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. And this is a game between KingRaze and Buildings on Frost. In the top left side of the map, we have the red Terran player. It is KingRaze from Team Ascension's professional team. And also from Team Ascension, we have the red Zerg player in the bottom left here. It is Buildings. So it is an intra-team play here between these two guys. Again, I'm assuming they practice against each other a few 100,000 times. And is that a new trophy? What do you get this one for? Is that like completion of the campaign or something? That looks like Nova's ship, but maybe it's just a Viking. I don't know. Let me know what that is in the comments if you know, because I don't. I admit my ignorance here. So it's a TVZ here on Frost, a big old darn 4-player map. Hard to find your opponent sometimes. We've seen games where people don't find each other for 3.5 minutes, which is an eternity in Legacy of the Void. But a hatch first play here from the Buildings and what looks like a Reaper expand out of KingRaze. Again, based on the timing of that gas, we have a Reaper name ready to go in case it is a Reaper. But we've been disappointed before. We have been disappointed before. So we're not going to jump the gun on that. Pool first from Buildings before Extractor, which again just means he wants Lings out before he gets speed for them, which means he might be worried about a Reaper showing up a little bit earlier than he expects. Having 4 to 6 Lings out greatly decreases the effectiveness of that Reaper, assuming your micro is any good. And again, at this level of StarCraft 2, which is GM level, you're going to be okay with it. So the barracks wrapping up here, 1,000 hit points complete, and Reaper on the way. This Reaper's name is Sovereign. Ah, like the Reapers from Mass Effect. Have you guys played those games? I didn't really get into them until after 3 had come out. I played 1, 2, and 3 though, in succession. Building says, if you win, I will donate $4.20. KingRaze says, nice. Nice. Anyway, Mass Effect is great. Mass Effect is a lot of fun. You can do a lot of different things with it. You can do different builds, different specialties with weapons. The story's pretty good. The characters are all pretty fantastic. I mean, I still remember conversations I've had in that game, and it's probably been a couple years since I played. But yeah, Mass Effect is beautiful. You should check it out. Sometimes there are Steam sales where it's really cheap. I think that's where I got them, actually, was on a Steam sale. But yeah, really, really fun time. And anyway, the Reapers are the big bads, and Sovereign is the biggest of the baddest. And this is Sovereign the Reaper. Makes sense. So here he is on his mission to destroy all life on planet Frost. Except for, I guess, the people that are on his team. Although, who knows? This Reaper could go rogue. Could go rogue in its attempt to find life and failing at it. And actually turn on his own friends and family, which would be pretty sad. But the likelihood of that happening is pretty low. Swapping the factory onto the reactor, likely to be for Hellions. Hellions pretty good in TBZ, as there's usually not a wall you have to contend with those Hellions. The Ling's really waiting for that Reaper to come up here. Reaper is late for his appointment, unfortunately. Taps the Zelnaga watchtower and says, alright, so Zerg player is definitely here. You'll notice that Building is keeping his Lings on the creep as they have a speed advantage in that situation. Queen does not get a stab off here. Don't engage too far off there. KD8 charge gets the creep tumor. Nice job, Reaper. Does not go home empty-handed. Has a kill to his name. And I know it's a creep tumor, and I know it's kind of embarrassing to tell the guys back home that you killed a creep tumor, and that's your claim to fame, but whatever. Pneumatized Carapace on the way for Buildings. Wants that Overlord speed for scouting information, which I have to say I approve of. True is a big fan of doing that. If you haven't seen the best of 7 between True and Pult, you should check that out. It's some really interesting stuff. I mean, usually my best of 7s involving Pult are the most popular stuff on the channel, so I assume you've seen it. But if you haven't, go ahead and check it out. Just search for True or Buildings on, or Buildings, True or Pult on my channel. You'll see it. Ah, it gets another kill and almost another one, but does end up falling there. Does our friend Sovereign, but nicely done. 2 kills is not bad. So the Lings want to get a surround on these Hellions, but good micro out of KingRaze. Great micro out of KingRaze, and a lot of dead Lings there. These guys decided not to pursue, and instead going to head up this way. Liberator heading on down south, and the Ling's going to have a hard time getting through this as there's a command center in the way. And 2 Marines, I mean, is that actually forcing a cancel? Oh, on the command center. The Lings are inside, causing a lot of problems here. The Marines are not being directly attacked, though, and as a result, the Lings will get taken out fairly quickly. Some Hellions trying to burn down at that constructing 3rd base. Liberator sets up shop here and does get a single kill before the drone pull. Nicely done by Buildings. Good timing on that drone pull. How many workers have been killed? 6 SCVs died there. Pretty good. That is pretty good here. And the Ling harassment continues. They're going to force a cancel on another command center. There's not enough DPS here to do anything about that. And boom. Did he even cancel it? I don't think he even canceled it. This time the Marines are being directly attacked. SCV's just getting melted down here. Lings continuing to roll in. This is my style of play, you guys. This is what I do. A Viking lands over, by that I mean over dependence on Lings. Hellions do manage to sneak on in here. There are 3 of them. And ignoring the queens entirely. Just starting to roast down some of these drones. The Lings trying to get through this wall. Difficult. It's difficult play as there's a Hellion there. But this Hellion has 5 kills and does get killed by the queens. So it's 19 SCVs killed to 3 drones killed. Buildings has completely locked down this base. 100% locked it down. Supply depots falling as well. This is looking really, really bad for KingRaze. Baneling Nest coming up. Lair coming up. +1/+1. Coming up for the buildings. Liberator trying to sneak in here again, but there is a Spore Crawler. Buildings did build this. Haha. When the first Liberator was here, you can't set up right on top of it. KingRaze, why? Alright, then at least to his credit, he did get out of there before he died. Or she did, as the pilot of a Liberator is a woman. So Lings are here, no upgrades on them. Working on that +1/+1, like I said, but not going to be there anytime soon. KingRaze is mining, actually. Oh, a tank. Thank goodness. Thank goodness for a tank. Setting up siege mode on that high ground, and look at that. Oh, almost got a shot off there. Those Lings ran through that circle. The Banelings are here, though. The Banelings are here. I'm not sure if that's what you want, though. You want Banelings? I don't know. Tanks do one-shot a Ling, or tank does one-shot a Ling. Suppose 35 damage, and guess how many hit points Zerglings have? Exactly 35. Hey, check that out. Check that out. Liberator sets up shop at this 3rd base, trying to lock this sucker down. Queen could probably hit it from right about here if she tried, but I'm not sure that she knows the Liberator exists at this point. Drop action. Drop action. Drop Lord is here. Did Drop Lord already drop stuff? Did I miss that? He looks like he already dropped stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. Another Spore Crawler here, and just mining from patches that aren't under... Kind of. Sort of doing that, but not really. Here comes the Baneling drop. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wow, pretty good stuff. 28 SCVs killed. It is 28 to 46 total Harvesters. The Overlord does die. The Lings couldn't really get any pressure off. How? Wow, so Liberator gets 5 kills. I still feel like the Queen could have walked up here and taken him out. But in the end, the Spore Crawler gets the job done. And that's really all that matters. Spire coming up. Centrifugal hooks on the way for those Banelings to make them faster. +2 missile attack. And +1/+1 for KingRaze. So KingRaze is getting reestablished. Again, we've seen Terran players come back from the dead before. We have. They've lost like all of their economy, but somehow they're back up even with the Zerg player at some point. That is a lot of Lings. Getting the surround on the tank. The medevac does not save it. Tried to. Thought about it. Couldn't quite pull it off, and the tank ends up getting killed. Trying to fly this way is the Liberator, but 1 hit point to her name. And, I mean, there's really nowhere to go at this point. Unfortunately, you can't get close enough, but the Spore Crawler will kill you. Lings trying to bust that thing down, but again, tanks on the high ground. Really good. Really good in this particular situation. And Liberator out of range of anti-ground or ground-to-air stuff, so should live at least until some mutas or corruptors pop out of that Spire. Which is something that could happen. It definitely 100% could happen. Marines and tanks taking an alternate path to attack the Zerg player. We've seen this, kind of sending units out this way. And some Baneling drops to kill Marines. Seems... Oh, just kidding. Gonna kill some more SCVs. 32 SCVs have been killed so far. Again, we have seen attacks from Marines heading out this way and then sneaking down to this angle to attack instead of coming through this narrow path. It makes sense. Overlord does end up getting killed there. Buildings is actually supply blocked after losing that Overlord. 8 mutas on the way for buildings, though. And the Lings still have map control to some extent. More Banelings coming in here, too. Again, they are speed Banelings, so they are extra good. Lings trying to pick off some reinforcements at the back, or pick off the trailing units as part of this army. And getting 1 Marine is not bad. Not too shabby at all. The Banelings are now speed Banelings. They're coming down onto the creep to defend as KingRaze is obviously gearing up for an attack right here. 16 Lings on the way, +2 melee attack on the way. 62 to 26 total Harvesters. And here it is, mutas, Lings, Queens, laying waste to everything here. Pick up the tank. Pick up the tank. Tank dies. Pretty good splits, but there are just too many banelings. Too many banelings, and that's it. KingRaze is defeated, and Buildings is victorious, winning the game for Zerg today. Yeah, I mean, that initial attack, when those lings killed 2 command centers and got inside and just laid waste to the natural base, that was it. I mean, that was the end of the game. That was a lot of dead SCVs. KingRaze was on his back foot. The Liberators did kind of bring it even a little bit, but they didn't do enough damage to really slow down Buildings as much as KingRaze wanted it to. So well done by Buildings. Good win there. Very strong win with the Ling Bling Muta type stuff. We don't see that a lot, but still it's fun to see. All right, so we're going to move into a game 2 here. I'm going to do a twofer on this one, so this game was pretty short, and I've got another one I want to cast from Voltz. So go ahead and stick with me, and we'll be right back. Hello, StarCraft fans! Welcome back to my 2-game series, although it's not a series because both players are different in this one. And let's go ahead and introduce the players in game number 2. In the top right side of Galactic Process, the Ladder Edition, we have the Red Protoss player representing Flipside Academy. It is Rengen. And in the bottom left side of the map, we have the blue Zerg player. It is Voltz from Revolution Gaming. So a ZVP for you guys here on Galactic Process, again, as part of a twofer. In this cast, I figured the first game was fairly short. We'll wrap it up with another one here. Kind of squish it together, get you a 2-for-1 special. I know you get 2 casts per day normally, but this one is a true 2-for-1, where it's 2 games in 1 cast. Rengen is actually walling off here, which you can do. I mean, they introduced these rocks in one of the latest patches, so you can't just walk units up here into this natural anymore. You actually have to kill debris, but still, I mean, you have to worry about this destructible, you have to worry about these rocks. If anybody knocks any of those down, and this is where your wall is, your ramp is wide open, your natural is wide open. So Rengen taking a bit of a risk here, and we'll see if it pays off for him. Extractor, still no pool from Voltz. At 18 supply, and now getting the pool at 16 harvesters. It just seems a little bit late. I mean, especially on the timing with that extractor. Seems like it should have been already under construction. Probe here trying to be annoying was not early enough to be annoying about that. Sadly for the probe. Let's see. Cybernetics core, I guess. Are you building here? Okay, yeah, right there. So cyber core there, and then maybe like another gateway there with a zealot holding line or an adept, something along those lines. And a third hatch for Voltz at 1 minute and 40 seconds. That is a fast third hatch. We'll have to see if Rengen can punish that or not. I don't know if he'll be able to. This probe really needs to scout for that third. Really needs to scout for the third. I mean, at this point, I don't know. Is there anything to tell Rengen he should look for one? Maybe the worker count, maybe the lack of, like, anything else. Maybe the lack of queens. You can tell queens aren't building because the hatcheries aren't shaken. Yeah, that's probably your best tell if you're Rengen, is noticing there are not queens in production. Those minerals are going somewhere else. And where are they going? They're going to a third base. They're going to a third. It is, in fact, an adept up here for Rengen. I think might try to send the adept out this way. The Lings really want to kill this probe. The probe really wants to scout out this third base. Oh, and he does. Nicely done, probe. Got the information you needed. You're probably dead. Yep. You're dead, but beautiful scout nonetheless. Very nice indeed. Probe is playing defense here for Rengen, but again, Voltz went 3 base pretty stinking early. Pretty stinking early, and we'll see if that works out or not. Overlord's getting in positions to scout. This one's very happy with where it is, as guess what? Protoss can't see it. Protoss cannot see it. Finally getting some queens is Voltz. You just feel so naked as Zerg without queens. I mean, nothing to inject is weird. Oh, do not get surrounded. Oh, I didn't get surrounded. And Psionic transferred anyway. Psionic transferred anyway. Immediately making that drone into a Spore Crawler. Great reaction time out of Voltz. The Lings desperately trying to surround this Adept. Pretty good jukes. Pretty good moves, though. And the Psionic transfer is getting her out of there. So got 2 kills. Not bad. Not bad at all. I mean, if you could snuck over this way, you probably got some freer and easier drone kills, but that's okay. Is there... Wait. Did these Lings have speed? Where are you, Lings? Okay, they have speed now. They must have just finished on that one. Just finished. There's a pylon and an adept holding the line. Get back on the line. Get back in there. There it is. Man, don't come all the way out, Rengen. Don't be doing that. Don't be doing that stuff. Lings actually conceding the point entirely, and apparently, oh, not going all the way back home, but about halfway across the map. Overlord is not scouted, and, oh no, he's scouted with something. That Overlord do all that? Nicely done. And sees the third base, too. So good positioning on that Overlord. Twilight Council, Gateway, Gateway. No sign of a robotics facility, which is very popular in ZVP these days. I'm kind of surprised. We haven't seen that from Rengen, but he went pretty quick third base, too. So, I mean, at this point, if you're Voltz, you either have the 3-base kind of all-in build you want to use to go take down the Protoss player, or you want to expand again, because being on 3-base versus a 3-base Protoss is not a good proposition. It is 42-40 Harvesters. Rengen has been working hard with that Chrono Boost, with continually producing probes. When he has a third Nexus, it's going to be even better for him. So Roach is on the way for Voltz. A lot of Adepts here. Lings, do they want to... I think they want to engage. They do! They want to engage. How many of these Adepts can they kill before the Psionic Transfer happens? The answer is a couple. And cancels it. Ah, Rengen sees the Lings run away, just cancels it and says, you go run back and like wait for this to happen. It's not going to because for reasons. No, Rengen, do not finish that transfer. There's so much stuff here. Cancels it. Whew, cancels it at the last second. Robotics facility coming up for the Protoss player. That is exactly what I wanted to see out of Rengen, and he's working on it, which is wonderful indeed. A +1 melee attack, a lair on the way for Voltz. And Rengen's working on Blink. Rengen is working on a Sentry. And a Forge as well. Mothership Core bouncing back and forth saying, hey, someone kill this Overlord. Stalker, get over here. Are there any Stalkers? No. Sentries maybe could, though. Maybe the Sentries could, although they seem to be all holding this line as well. Another thing you might want to do if you're Protoss is throw a pylon down here, because if these rocks get knocked down and Lings suddenly flood into your natural and your main base, you're going to feel really bad. Really bad about yourself. Just some information that these rocks are getting knocked down is nice. You'll wish you had it if it happens to you. Warp Prism on the way, and like I said, Blink from the Rengen. Baneling Nest coming out for Voltz, something we don't see in every ZVP. +1 melee attack just about to complete, and a Spire coming up for Voltz as well. All right, so we see some Mutas, we see some Corruptors. These seem like things that could be possible. Hallucinated Phoenix scouting right on in. Does see the Spire. Good scout by Rengen. I don't know if we see as many Hallucinated Phoenix as we used to in ZVPs. Do we? I don't know. So it's going to be Adept Sentry here for Rengen. He does finally warp in some Stalkers. There's a Stargate coming out, as well as an Immortal for Rengen. So pretty much left to his own devices, doing whatever he wants. That is a 4th base for Voltz that is now starting to get saturated. And here comes a push out of Rengen. He's got Stalkers. He's got Adepts. He has Sentries. He's going to kill this Overlord that has speed, but it doesn't matter. Blort, pieces of it falling off that edge there, but did scout. Again, the Overlord spread here is kind of insane for Voltz. He knows exactly what is coming, when is coming, what angle they're coming from, and it's Ravager Ling right now out of Voltz. I don't know. Oh, these units are in trouble. Pinned against the wall. Force fields do pop up there. Corrosive Biles used to destroy force fields. Yes! Used to destroy force fields. Lings getting on top of everything. More Corrosive Bile being used to destroy force fields. Lings coming from the top side for the wraparound. And Banelings, can they squish in there? No! They cannot. Trying to get up again. Look at this use. Look at this use of Corrosive Bile to kill force fields. We never see that. We never see it. We really don't. Banelings being used. A lot of Banelings to kill some Stalkers. That is not cost-efficient use of Banelings, but you know what? Killing Stalkers is fun. Not going to complain too much there for Voltz. Ravagers, Lings, more and more Banelings getting morphed on in. Is there any sign of centrifugal hooks? Or are they just going to be slow Banelings forever? They might just... Oh, no, it is. Did they have? They did. I saw the rolling and my brain did not process it. More and more Immortals coming out for the Rengen. He has 2. Going to work on a 3rd there. More Queens coming out actually for Voltz. And yeah, the Banelings trying to do what they can. The force field's so good though. And no! Oh boy, force field's not enough. Stalker's taking the hits. Corrosive Bile almost taking on that Warp Prism. Can't quite pull it off. The Sentry count is not looking good at all. Sentry count is 0. For Rengen, more and more Banelings here. It is 140 to 96. Total supply, 75 to 70 Harvesters though. So Rengen has the ability to mount up a pretty solid defense. Although that Immortal getting stuck right there is bad. It is really bad. Corrosive Bile's landing to get on that Cybernetics core and backing out as the double Photon Overcharge chases the Zerg player away. Rengen is trying to sneak a base here. He's praying to his god that the Zerg player doesn't see this, but unfortunately the Zerg player sees this by accident, mind you. Was not actually scouting for it, but ended up seeing it anyway. Cancels the Nexus. The probe ends up falling. Trying to knock down our friendly neighborhood Destructible. There's a photon overcharge here happening, and it's enough. It's enough to chase things away, although the Ravagers using their 6 range. Banelings coming through this way and trying to get inside that mineral line. Can they do it? Good probe pull. Great probe pull, but unfortunately now the army's coming through this way. Pylon with photon overcharge is not enough as it dies in about 2.5 seconds. Force fields again, trying to keep the Banelings away from the army and getting taken down by the corrosive biles. And oh my gosh, that is just Baneling massacre of the Protoss stuff. Wow. So just utter destruction there by Voltz, using Banelings to probably their most effective use that I've seen in this matchup. I know the Hydra Baneling is popular, but man, those Banelings were good. They were good. So yeah, another short game here featuring a Voltz and a Rengen for game number 2. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, Rengen, I just think the Immortals, as much as I love them, not good against Ravagers, not good against Lings, not good against Banelings is what we're dealing with here. And again, the force field usage would have been great, except the Ravagers actually use their corrosive bile to destroy force field, which is something that was intended for them to do, and they never do at the professional level. But Voltz did it. He made it work, and he crushed. He crushed in this game. So well played to him. Well played to Zerg, and that's it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin with a very special twofer Legacy of the Void daily upload. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.